What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we're finally going to be taking a deep look at all of the weapons that I was able to pick out and identify from the official reveal trailer as well as the campaign gameplay that we got for Modern Warfare 2. Now just a heads up with this, I did get a lot of help from Reddit here, so a lot of people have already picked these out and posted it on Reddit, so I'll make sure I'm leaving these sources for those in the description down below, but some of these I did my own research on as well, and this is where I want to point out for you guys. I am not a military firearms expert. I don't know every single military firearm out there. I might be slightly off on some of these, and if I am, please just let me know in those comments down below. And on top of this, another thing to point out with Modern Warfare 2 is there's going to be a lot of customization when it comes to weapons. This is something that I got to see in a pre-reveal presentation. And in many cases, you might see essentially the same gun with just different modifications on it that effectively turns it into a different version of that same gun. And I'm not necessarily going to break down every single individual variant of like the M4, for instance, because we saw a lot of M4 variants in this gameplay and the trailer. But without further ado, let's dive right into it, and let's start it off with the SMGs. And I'm going in no particular order, I'm just kind of jumping all over just based on the screenshots I took. The first one here is one of the guns that the character was actually using in the campaign gameplay. This is a Chris Vector. Then after that, I wasn't surprised at all to see there is an MP5. This one actually shows up a couple times. We see it when we kill this enemy here, he throws it up in the air. And then also when the water comes through and knocks the enemy down, you can see another MP5 that he drops on the ground. After that one from the reveal trailer, we see the MP7. There's a couple different frames here of one of your guys holding an MP7. Also the P90, this is shown multiple times throughout the reveal trailer as well as the official campaign gameplay. And then another one that not too many people picked up on. This is the PP19 Bizon, and also with that little bit of leaked gameplay from about a month ago or a few weeks ago, it looks like we're also going to be able to turn that into a PP19 Vityaz, although that didn't appear anywhere in this trailer as far as I could see. As for the next SMG, this is the SIG MPX, and then also several times throughout the trailer you can see little snippets of AKS-74Us, which I know are technically rifles, but knowing Call of Duty, they typically show up in the SMG category. And with that, this gives us a great segue into the assault rifle category here. And the first thing we've got here is another AK, and this is what Soap is shooting. And this appears to be an AK-105. Then we have what appears to be another AK variant. I believe this is an AKM with a grenade launcher attached to it. After that, something that not too many people picked up on, we do see the AUG here as well. Actually, the two guys at the rear here are both using AUGs, and you can see that in several of the frames. Next, in the reveal trailer, it appears Ghost here is holding a SMG Mark 47. Then in the gameplay here, it appears this is an HK-33, and this one does show up a couple times throughout the gameplay. And one of those times is in the background here, and in the foreground, we can see a Mark 14, which is likely going to be more so designated as a marksman rifle in the game, but I just decided to throw it in here with the assault rifle section. After that, on the ground right here from one of the enemies you killed, this appears to be an HK-G3, which is interesting, and I think there's going to be a lot of different ways that you can take the G3 platform, and we're actually seeing a lot of that throughout the gameplay we've seen so far. Then from the reveal trailer, it looks like Ghost is using a Honey Badger, so that's going to be making a return to Call of Duty, and I think a lot of people will be excited about that. Also, right here in the gameplay, you can see an M4 variant that's leaning against the railing right there, and it appears this is an LMG variant. And if we have a look at the first weapon vault that was revealed as part of one of the pre-order bonuses, you can see the upper for an M4 Fight Light, so I do believe that's what we're seeing leaning against the railing right there. After that, I also wanted to point out this M4, not because the M4 itself is all that special, but more so it's got a grenade launcher attached to it, which is no surprise, but just wanted to show that that is confirmed. Then once again, we've got another M4 here, and as far as I can tell, this is an M4 URGI. And then finally for assault rifles, right at the beginning of the official reveal trailer, we do see this gun dropped here. A lot of people were saying this is the ACR, but that's not the case. This is actually a SCAR L. And that's also something we see used in the gameplay. So that pretty much covers it for the assault rifles, and again, you could probably pick out some more variants and stuff throughout this if you were being really picky, but those are the primary ones that I noticed and was able to at least somewhat reliably identify for you guys. Now let's move on to some miscellaneous. Right here, we can see Ghost is using a Remington 700 with no optic attached to it. So that's kind of interesting. I wonder if that'll be in the marksman rifle category and then you have to use an attachment slot to put an optic on, or maybe it will be in the sniper rifle category and you have to use an attachment to get iron sights. I don't really know, but that is a Remington 700 action. Then when it comes to shotguns, we've got the Benelli M1014, and also we see an enemy using a shotgun, and this appears to be based off of a Mossberg 500, although you don't get a very good look at it. That's just my best guess based on the little bit that we saw from this gameplay. And this just leaves us with the pistols that we saw, and we did see Glocks several times throughout the trailer as well as the gameplay. The clearest image though is in this chest holster for Ghost. And then finally, if you have a really keen eye, you can pick out a different pistol in this little section of the reveal trailer as well. And this is a SIG, probably a P226 or something very similar at least. And behind the scenes, we actually got to see gameplay of him using this pistol, and it's definitely a SIG. And with that, that's finally going to wrap it up for all of the different guns that I was able to pick out from the reveal trailer, as well as that first campaign gameplay that they shared for us. And I'm really blown away with just how much variety we've seen in just these short little clips so far. This, combined with the fact that we're going to have sort of family trees for different platforms of weapons, so you can take weapons in so many different directions, this all leads me to believe that we're going to have the largest total weapon count ever in Call of Duty, at least for launch. And that is quite exciting to see. I'm very, very interested to really get my hands on these weapon trees to see all the different directions you can take things, and also to see the final weapon count, because I can also tell you right now, there are several guns that I saw behind the scenes in some other campaign footage that wasn't shown off in this, but since we weren't able to record or anything, I wasn't really able to get a great gauge on what those guns actually were, or at least not with enough confidence that I feel comfortable sharing that and potentially being way off. One thing I can tell you from that gameplay we saw behind the scenes is in that gameplay we were seeing the pickup icons as the character would walk over guns, and it appears they are following suit with Modern Warfare 2019, unfortunately, and we aren't going to be getting real names for all of the guns. Many of the guns had sort of a fake company behind them, like all of the Heckler & Koch firearms, for instance, in the game appear to be from a fake company called Lachlan Mirror. And that's slightly disappointing to see, especially with how detailed it appears they're going to be getting with your weapon customization, where you can actually swap out upper and lower receivers and various weapon parts as well to essentially convert a gun into a different version of that gun from the same platform. It's kind of disappointing that we don't actually get to see the real names of the guns as we're doing that. And this might seem like a minor nitpicky thing, and it is to some degree. Like, to me, gameplay is, of course, number one. I don't really care what the name of my gun is, but with how much focus they're putting into the customization, I just think it would be really nice to actually see the real names of the guns. And I realize there's likely some licensing and legal issues when it comes to that, but many other games are able to do it, and with the resources that Activision has at their fingertips, you would think that they'd be able to secure the licensing for that so they could show us the real names, but I don't really know all the details of everything that goes on in the background, and this is one of those areas where it really just depends on the person. For some people, this will actually be a really big deal. A lot of the people that are really into guns, this is really going to suck for them, but for other people out there that don't really care about guns in real life, this means nothing and they won't really care at all. Like I said, for me, I'm mildly disappointed, but at the end of the day, gameplay is what I really care about. But with that, that is going to wrap it up for today's video on all of the guns that we've seen so far based on the little bits of gameplay and the reveal trailer for Modern Warfare 2. And this is where I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. First up, were there any guns here that I maybe misidentified slightly, or any other guns that maybe I just missed entirely? And also, are there any specific guns that we haven't seen so far that weren't mentioned in this video that you would really like to see in Modern Warfare 2? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.